Hey guys, Igorgs here, and today I'll be talking about BG building for UD. And I'll be talking about the very basics, try to run you through my mindset when I'm building a BG. First of all, to actually get to the Ruin Manager, you want to go to Poxnora.com. Under Ruin Management, just pick Ruin Manager, and I'll get you to this page where you can check out all your BGs and all your ruins. And now, BG building is very, I wouldn't say complicated, but it's not easy. You need to know a lot, you need to get used to ruins, because sometimes things on paper aren't as good as they are on board, and vice versa. So I'm just going to try to run you through some basics, try and help you create your own BGs instead of just copying other people, find your own kind of game style. Because if you find a BG that's built the way you want it to be built, you will play way better than playing a BG built around someone else's style. And believe me, you can be really flexible with this. And throughout the years, I've always been the kind to always step out of the norm, run double mind slicers nowadays. And I guess double sacrifice is very normal, so that's not out of the norm. But I've always moved out of the norm, trying to use different spells and just things I like that I feel are useful, even if other people don't appreciate them or think it's too much. Okay, so let's look at some basic spells in the UD. The most two basic spells are Sacrifice and Retribution. Sacrifice, basically, if your champion's about to die, you know it's going to die next turn. You can sacrifice it, get Nora back, and deploy a new champion, or simply use the Nora for a power turn, which is very useful. And Retribution is basically if your champion's about to die, you can cast Retribution on him, and he's going to basically kill himself and hurt the enemy for half his Nora cost, which is very powerful. Another great spell is Mind Slicer Boomerang. I love this spell, it's a great spell. Now the issue with Mind Slicer Boomerang is it doesn't work with a great relic that we call Orb of Protection. There we go. Now Orb of Protection is a really good relic, probably one of the best in UD, but I never run it because Orb of Protection and Mind Slicer Boomerang cancel each other out, which is very unfortunate. So you can either pick Orb of Protection for a more defensive playstyle, or run your Mind Slicer Boomerang 1 or 2 for a very kill potential style. And I'm a very kill potential style player. Another core relic is Mark of Shiloh, which is a mandatory relic in every UDBG, no argument. Other than that, you also have Demon Shield, obviously. I don't actually run Demon Shields anymore because I faded away from that playstyle. But I appreciate that it's still one of the core ruins in UD. You need to put on a demon and it gives you Arrow Eater, which is very good against ranged champions. Now, there's a lot of good spells and stuff. So also Price of Victory is a very core ruin. I definitely put it in every UDBG. Now, other than these hardcore core ruins I listed, I think everything else is flexible. Everything else can be wiggled out of the way if you don't want to. And it's going to take more than one episode to explain all these BGs because there's multiple themes. There's imps, there's meta, there's demons, goblins, minnows, and I'm going to try and keep this basic, and I'll try and expand on it in another video. Keep these videos short, to the point. So when picking a champion, there's a bunch of factors to look at. I mean, right away you see all these numbers. You got Nora cost, you got stats, HP, defense, range, speed, attack, and then you got a bunch of abilities. Now, the issue I see with UD players is they're good on Nora cost most of the time. They'll pick a champion that's like 70, 78, like Fnatic, Deep Fnatic, who has high damage. And let's look at this champion. This is a good example for me, because this is how I run this champion. He's got good stats. He's got a good Nora cost, decent ability set, but a lot of people will opt for the Oblivion Shield and possibly the Fire Eater because they have an 82 Nora. Now he's not worth 82. 82 is a gigantic price for what he's offering. You need to numbers win game. Honestly, like it's definitely, you want a lot of numbers on the board and as much quality as possible for what you're paying for. So I try to go cheap, and this is not a even though this is the cheapest build, this is still a very efficient build. Now when picking a champion, I want you to focus on how useful he is in your BG. Now, there's a lot of good champions out there, especially in UD. Like, you got a bunch of very efficient, powerful champions, all high damage, all decently costed, and you can't run them all. You can't run them all. So what you want to focus on is what can they do for your BG. Why are you running these champions? Do they have utility? Are they useful? Can they do more than one thing? Now let's look at this guy. Some people don't like this guy. People have been seeing me play him and they're like, why are you playing this guy? And I'm like, this guy is amazing. And I think the fact that the reason why people don't understand he's amazing might be a core issue with BG building. Let's look at Static Shock. 2 electricity damage per AP lost. Now this is great in imps, and also gives him a 2 damage little poke every turn that he gets to do. And it also synergizes with Mindstorm, which drains AP from the enemy. Which means if the guy has like 6 AP and you drain it, you're gonna do 10 damage because the cap's out at 10. And he has a stun, which is just amazing. Stun is amazing, and it synergizes well with Static Shock, because if you stun someone, next turn they're gonna have full AP. Then you Mindstorm them to lose their AP, and you can do the maximum Static Shock with 10 damage. Swoop. Swoop is a great ability. It lets you engage with the far rangers. It's just great. Attack electricity is really good. You want to focus on not having a lot of attack physical. Don't stack too much attack physical, because if someone has resistance to physical, you're gonna be in trouble. Don't stack a lot of attack magic, because you're gonna be in trouble if he has immunity magic. You want to have like an array of attack options, and Mischief is a classic imp ability that's just nice to have. And his stats are decent, they're not super high. I think that's why a lot of UD players don't like him, but the utility he brings to the board is just, it's huge. It's way more than any damage stat line could do. For this BG I have like Altered Lemur. Altered Lemur is a very efficient ruin. The only reason I run Altered Lemur is because of the HP to Nora ratio and Shadow Spawn. Now why is this important? Because it synergizes really well with Mashicism, or however you pronounce it. Sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing things. It's really good because basically you can deploy him and cast the Mashicism for 80 Nora, 84 Nora, something like that. I think it's 82. Yeah, it's 84 Nora. And he's going to be tanking 55 HP, 60 HP with the banner for your entire battle group. Just like that. It's like a power turn. Huge synergy. So right there you see, I got 2 synergy runes. 2 Mindstorms, to this, more synergy. Sacks are classic. 1 sack and 1 retry should be in every UDBG, I think. Split personality is good, but not mandatory. You don't have to run Shatter. I don't think Shatter is that good, but I just run it now because there's a lot of space. Demolish is very decent in this meta. It's definitely worth running. Boundless Enthusiasm is a great spell, but it's not mandatory. Price of Victory is mandatory. Purifier is pretty good. I don't think it's mandatory either. But basically, all in all, to summarize this video, I don't want to go for too long on a basic video. Try and look for more than nice stats. Look for synergy. Make your BG work together. Look for a theme in your BG. Like this BG this is a kill potential BG, but let's look at another BG real quick before we end the video. UD Endurance meta. Now I built this BG a while back. It was very successful for a good while. It's a very tank based BG. Now this BG has a bunch of cheap champions. They're not as cheap as they used to be because they were nerfed when I built it a couple of months ago. But when I first built it, they were all a bunch of cheap champions. They were all high HP and they were all very tanky. So basically, like, this guy doesn't look tanky when you just look at his stats. But look at this. When he's not in lava, he gets 50% physical resistance. This guy's a complete tank. And all these champions were more or less very tanky. I mean, they're not like, their role isn't tank, but they have high endurance, so they're not easy to kill. So the idea of this BG, when I built this BG, I was thinking, let's deploy as much champions as possible who are all hard to kill and have high damage, because that's what UD does. Like, no matter what you deploy in UD, you're gonna have good damage. So if you have endurance as well, you're just unstoppable. They're gonna have a huge issue dealing with you. And that worked pretty well. And I switched to this right now, which is very high kill potential BG. Not as tanky as my other BG. Not tanky at all, actually. They'll have decent HPs though, and they have high damage, high mobility. This PG is very high mobile, very decent on range, even though there's only one real range champion. Anyways, trying not to drag on. I'll probably make more videos on themes, more specifically, and we talk about runes specifically because it's not easy to cover everything in UD, or yeah, everything in this game. That is, for battle groups in one video. Unless I'm gonna sit here and talk for 2 hours, which is not the point of these videos. So I hope you learned something today, and hopefully next video I'll try to go more in depth. Maybe I'll go more in depth into different themes, or so on and so forth, or maybe just specific runes. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.